Hello everybody, welcome back to Tree of Tranquility. It's the 25th, the Starry Night Festival. We're gonna go and attend this festival later on tonight with Chase. It's at the Brownie Ranch district at 7 p.m. So we have a bit of a long day ahead of us. We got lots and lots and lots of time to kill. So I'll grab my saddle out of here in case I want to ride the Ostrich around to get around a little bit faster. And what I found interesting was when I talked to Chase in the morning yesterday, because I do try to talk to my spouse every day, he actually asked me if I wanted to go to the Starry Night Festival. It was almost as if he was asking me out on a date, like you would go out on a date before you were married, which I found a little bit odd. I said yes, of course. I didn't test it out to see if you could go with somebody else, but I would find that a little bit odd if I could go over to Jin and ask him if he wanted to go and we were both married to other people. So I'm not quite sure how that works, but either way, we are going to go with our husband later. I'd probably have some explaining to do if I was at a romantic festival with another man. Been getting really lucky with the weather. It's been beautiful and sunny, so the animals have been able to hang around outside, which makes them happy and it makes me happy because I don't have to spend the time to feed them manually. They can all just hang out here and graze. And how are the silkworms today? Doing well, I hope. Pick up all my eggs. Feed the silkworms. Make some mayonnaise. And then I have to figure out what the heck I'm going to do for the rest of the day because I don't have any plans. I do have my hammer in my bag. I suppose if I wanted to, I could go out and do some mining or something like that. We kind of spent the whole last episode fishing, so I don't want to bore you guys with another fishing episode. Has been a while since we've been mining, so maybe I'll do that. I have to clear out a couple of spaces first, though, I think. So I'll go ahead and do that. I will sell the mayonnaise and my boxed lunch. Sorry, Chase, I know you have cooked it with love, but I really have no use for it. Let me saddle up and take the ostrich out for a spin. Since we do have the ostrich now, we can utilize her to give us a ride. One of the other things that I tested out, and I don't know that I actually mentioned this because I do think I did this later on my own time, was I discovered that you cannot take the ostrich to the mountain. We had tried going over the rainbow to the mountain with the ostrich, and that didn't work, and I understand that, but the ostrich just can't go to the mountain at all, which I don't understand. I don't know why that is, and that's kind of one of the more sort of far away locations. It would have been really handy to be able to ride the ostrich up the mountain to the mine. That was kind of one of the things I was hoping to use it for, but as it stands, the ostrich really is not as useful as I was hoping it would be, because it's very limited in where I can go. But I guess I can't complain because we do still get around a lot faster. We do save ourselves quite a bit of time. And the nice thing about the animals in this game is that they automatically get put into the barn after a certain amount of time, so even if you lose the ostrich somehow, or you are in the mine, for example, and you come out of the mine late and the ostrich is sleeping and you can't ride it back home, You don't have to worry about the ostrich. It's not going to get sick. It's not going to get lost. It's just going to automatically teleport back to your barn and it will be safe and sound. So that's kind of a nice thing. We don't have to worry about going back to our house on a curfew almost. We don't have to worry about leaving our ostrich behind or getting the ostrich home before 8 o'clock, because 8 o'clock is the time where animals will automatically fall asleep for the day. And even though Calvin and Phoebe are married, they just stand about and do the same stuff they've always done. But if you talk to them, they'll have unique dialogue. Calvin, for example, says, "There's never a dull moment with my wife," which is sweet. Again, I'm not a big fan of Calvin, but him and Phoebe are really made for each other because they have so much in common. And they get along, and I think that's great. What I found a little bit odd was that Jin, as far as I can tell, doesn't have unique dialogue after he gets married. He still talks to you as if he's a bachelor, and I'm not sure if that's a glitch or if I'm just not talking to him enough or it was an oversight or what the issue is, but I talked to him and he said something along the lines of, "I haven't given marriage a lot of thought. I proposed to a girl once and it didn't work out and I don't want to talk about it," which is kind of odd. You'd think he would mention his life with Anessa. And of course, I'm not going to go out and take the time to find him today, but his dialogue hasn't changed, but everyone else's has. And obviously now with mining, it's the same as it's always been. I usually still stick to this mine. It's preferred for me personally, rather than go to the other mine just because it's closer. I can get down a lot faster. But I don't spend a lot of time mining anymore. I feel like I spent a lot more time mining earlier on in the game. I feel like that's all I did, really. And that was because I was trying to get rich quickly. I was trying to get a lot of ore to upgrade my tools and things like that. There was also a time when I wasn't able to come down to the mine. I would make it to the 10th floor and the game would freeze because I'd run into Calvin and I wasn't able to trigger his event, and so the whole game would freeze up on me. Obviously, now that he's married, that's not a problem. So there was a couple of times where I wasn't able to come down here, or I was busy doing something else. And now that I have a big farm, mining is kind of obsolete. I mean, you can still make a lot of money by mining. It's still a really great way to make money, but because I get chicken eggs every single day, I get cocoons, I can turn my wool into stuff, I get milk, I get ostrich eggs. I mean, I get so much stuff from the animals every single day. And on top of that, I have the tools and the stamina available for me to water a lot of my crops, and crops are a huge moneymaker. I'm running out of things to upgrade at this point. We've got the biggest house. We only have a couple more animals to buy. I've cleaned out both flea markets. I've got a lot of furniture. I've bought every single piece of land. So even if I had a lot of money, I'm almost kind of running out of things to do with it. So that's why I haven't really bothered much with mining as much as I used to. It's just because there's much better ways for me to make money, but it's still fun, and it's still a good thing for me to do, especially in wintertime when there's not as much to do. Great way for me to kill some time and just to vary up my activities so that I don't get bored. I feel like the game's being pretty generous with these staircases. I've made it down to floor 20 almost effortlessly, really. And when we get down to 25-ish, that'll be where all the good stuff is. And it'll be nice if I can fill my rucksack with a few goodies. I probably would use the other 9 more if I could take my ostrich up there, and that was kind of the hope. That's kind of what I was hoping. I thought this would be a really great opportunity for me to get more use out of this mine if I could take the ostrich up there and save some traveling time, but apparently I'm not allowed to do that. Not entirely sure if I'd be able to do that with the horse. I don't know why I would. I don't know why they would exclude the ostrich but include the horse. But you just never know. Maybe I'll test that out one day when we decide to get a horse in the stable. And it's gonna be time for the festival soon, actually. And time just kind of flew by. I'm surprised it's already almost 6 o'clock at night. And that's the great thing about a game like this, as opposed to something like A Wonderful Life. As much as I love A Wonderful Life, and I love it more, I think, for nostalgic value than anything else, there gets to be a point where you really don't have anything to do, and there's just no point in playing anymore. You just get kind of bored, and you run out of things to do. But because this is kind of a bigger game, a newer game, they've included enough variety of stuff that I can sort of vary it up and not feel too bored. I still have fish I haven't caught, I still have dishes I haven't cooked. I can always make money. So when I get bored of one activity, I just move on to the next. Probably won't stay down here for much longer. We'll just pick up a couple more gems to fill the rucksack, and we'll go back up and we'll meet Chase for our romantic date, which will be kind of nice. You should still go on dates, even if you're married, even if you're, you know, together. You should take time to do things for yourself, with your spouse or your partner. And I think the New Year's festival at the end of the year is going to be unique as well, because we haven't really been able to do anything at that festival at all. I do believe that is a family-oriented festival entirely, so we'll be seeing that in a couple days from now. And then we'll be on to spring and into year 3. Can you guys believe that? Pretty crazy to think about how far we've come. I cannot believe I am still playing this. So there we go, we filled up our rucksack. It looks like I'm gonna get a lot of crappy stuff though. I don't have anything with, I've got 1 white wonderful here with 3 sparkles, so that will turn into a diamond, but a lot of these are 1 sparkle only. So I might actually put this white one into the shipping bin so I can make room for this one. I put some of the fish in my bin, mostly just to make room for more wonderfuls, but I would like to take some of those out of the bin so that I can continue to give them to the cat. I'm not sure if there's a time limit on this. I don't know if I can show up late or not. I hope not. I'd feel bad. I'm standing up my own husband for our date. But it looks like all's well, and he's here. We're too old to wish on shooting stars, don't you think? When you grow up, you work for what you want instead of wishing. I suppose. Have a little fun, Chase. Come on. Tonight was terrific, thank you. It's so odd to me that it's so informal. It just feels so informal. It still feels like I'm meeting with a stranger or with a casual friend or like a casual date that I've only, you know, been on a couple dates with. Didn't feel particularly loving in like a couples event, but it's a kid's game, so I guess I can't complain too much. I do believe the dialogue was different though, from what I recall. I'd have to actually go back and look at the video that I recorded before we were married to see if that event is any different. And thankfully the ostrich didn't fall asleep. I'm surprised that it didn't. Usually it'll fall asleep at a certain time, but maybe it sensed that it was a cutscene or an event and it didn't fall asleep. And I was able to use it to ride home. Thank you, Ostrich. I appreciate it. I would have gotten home a lot later if not for you. Let's put our animals in. And let's just check the shipping bin one more time. I've sent off a fair few number of things today. I want to keep the rare ore because they're worth quite a bit of money. I could probably ship this green herb. I have so many of them, it doesn't even matter. And I'll just pick out a few fish to put back into my rucksack. I can always pick up more fish and fish more of them, so it's not like it's any great loss. You can see Chase is in bed, sleeping. So I'll have to join him soon here. He's tuckered out from our date, apparently. So that was it for the Starry Night Festival. For those of you who might be wondering, apparently it's really not that much different with a spouse. Might be different with a child. I don't know if you would take your child with you. We will have to perhaps find out one day. So I'll play for a couple more days, and we will check in again at the end of the year before we go into spring. That's it for me, guys. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope that I will see you next time.